What's up, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm so glad that you are here today for this episode because I really think it's going to hit home for a lot of you. Based off of the title of today's episode, you know that we're talking about why your effort isn't getting you the results that you want. And typically on these podcast episodes, I share a lot about my own personal journey and story. But today I actually want to tell you about a conversation that I had with a woman on a discovery call who just joined coaching. Literally, I had this call today and I got off the call and I was like, I need to record a podcast on this because every single woman in my world who consumes my content needs to hear her story, needs to know that she's not alone in this frustration. Because this woman specifically isn't someone who needs to be told to try harder. She's not skipping workouts. She's not eating fast food every night. She has been working out her entire life. She eats clean. She doesn't drink. She's going to heated mat Pilates classes and Legree and cardio 5 to 6 days a week. She's seen a nutritionist. She's done elimination diets, the anti-inflammatory approach. She's done her research on all of this. And yet her body still isn't changing. And she said something to me on the call that I just keep repeating in the back of my brain. She said, I see people on TikTok who just tweak their diet a little bit, drop 10 pounds, and I'm like, why is my body so stubborn? Maybe I'm not made for this. And this was a quote that I really want to start off today's conversation with and talk about today because I know so many women feel this type of defeat. This woman's body is not broken. Your body is not broken. You are absolutely made for this. You are absolutely deserving of a physique that you feel confident in. The problem is not your effort. The problem is that your effort doesn't have the right strategy behind it yet. And that is why she hired me for coaching. So if you are a woman listening to this right now, one who's doing everything right, trying everything, reading everything, I see you in that. And I want you to know that the exhaustion you feel is real. The frustration that you feel is real. It makes complete sense. This woman's story is one that I hear over and over and over again, just with some different details, but the same emotional experience. She's been through the weight fluctuations, the gut health diagnosis, worked with holistic nutritionists, done all of the elimination diets, changed her workout routine multiple times, and still her clothes don't fit the same way that they used to. Feels puffy, bloated, dreads getting dressed in the morning, dreads being in photos. She said to me, when I was at my heaviest, I was actually more confident than I am right now. I am just at the point where I look in the mirror and I don't even recognize myself. And this is an important thing to note because it shows that her lack of confidence right now is not just surface level. Her lack of confidence is identity level. I think this is one of the most painful places for a woman to be when you know who you know yourself to be is not being reflected back to you in your body. You've always been the fit one, the health conscious one, the disciplined one. And right now, that identity and your reality are not matching up because you don't look the part. You don't look like the effort that you're putting in. And frankly, something I said to her is you don't feel in control of how your body is responding because you're doing everything right, but nothing's changing. And that gap, that identity gap, that is really where your confidence slips. And so the gap is not evidence that, you're failing or that you're not worthy of this or that you can't have this, the body of your dreams, like she thought. That gap is just evidence that your strategy has not caught up to your effort yet. So we need to get you a better strategy. Something else that she actually brought up on the call that I think is important to chit chat about, that I think is very real to experience when you're putting in tons of effort and not getting results, is she was like, I have a friend who just started working out this year. She already has ab definition. She's already seeing results. And I'm sitting here thinking I've been doing this my whole life. Why do I not look like that? What's wrong with me? And again, I get it. But here's the science behind what's happening. Here's what I explained to her on that call. Her friend is experiencing quote unquote newbie gains. When someone is brand new to training, your body is incredibly responsive because every stimulus is brand new. It's a new stimulus, which means it forces your body to adapt. And that adaptation curve is steep. That adaptation is where physique transformation happens. So you can make significant changes with relatively modest effort because everything is new information to your body, forcing it to change. But for this woman who I was on a call with, and for any of you listening to this who've been training for years, you've been through multiple diet phases and restriction periods and high volume cardio and elimination protocols. Like, your body has already adapted. It's already been through a lot. And so it requires much more precise and strategic approach, not more effort, but more precise and strategic approach to get your body to respond, because it's already seen so much. You're not playing the same game as this person that you're comparing yourself to. This person on social media that you're seeing just make small tweaks to their habits and create this crazy transformation. You are playing the game at a much harder level. So the women who come to me who have been into health for years, you're not going from 50 to 80%. You're trying to go from 80 to 100%. And that last stretch is hard. It requires understanding what's actually going on inside of your body, not just continuing to do more and more and more of the same things that have gotten you to where you are right now. And so something that she replied, she was like, I think I've destroyed my metabolism, because I know logically I've, shouldn't be eating 12,000 or, such little calories. Some days I'm only having 2 meals a day, and I just know I'm not eating enough. And I just think I've destroyed my metabolism. She named it. She knows it. She was right. And I bet you if you're listening to this right now, you also know that same thing. You know that you're not eating enough. You know that there's deeper metabolic, hormonal, gut health issues that are what's sabotaging your results, but you are so scared to do what's required to change that. Just to explain the science, if you're like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm not eating enough. What happens when you chronically undereat and overexercise? Because that combination is incredibly common in high-performing, high-achieving women. And it's quietly working against everything that you're trying to do, because your body it is a survival system. And so when it perceives that food is scarce or that stress is chronic, the adaptations are going to be different than what you expect. In the beginning, the adaptations are going to be positive for your body. It's likely that you've seen some success with fat loss in the past, as did this woman that I talked to. But then your weight starts climbing back in the opposite direction, or the bloating starts coming on, or the fatigue starts to become chronic, or the inflammation starts to feel uncomfortable. And that's because it works at first, but then the adaptation shifts. The adaptation shifts to downregulating your metabolism, which means that you're running on less fuel, which means your body is becoming more efficient, which sounds like a good thing. But in context, what that means is that you need fewer calories to function, which makes fat loss progressively harder. And your body starts prioritizing fat storage because it's in survival mode, and fat is a survival resource. And layering all of the exercise that you're trying to do to compensate for feeling uncomfortable in your physique, high intensity exercise at high volumes when you're already underfueled and you're already metabolically adapted, is just perpetuating that stress signal. Cortisol is going up, which is going to cause your body to hold on to fat and even create water retention and inflammation, and create gut health issues with bloating, causing more inflammation and more discomfort in your clothes and in your physique. So you are doing more and you are seeing less. Not because your body is broken, but because your body is doing exactly what it's designed to do under those conditions of chronic dieting. It is protecting you. It doesn't know that you're not actually in a famine right now, or not actually under crazy amounts of stress right now, real stress, life-threatening stress. And so the piece that doesn't get talked about enough is a lot of women are attributing their fat gain to fat. And it's actually inflammation. It's actually, the body's immune response. It's water retention, fluid retention, cellular stress, something that you can't out cardio, that you can't out calorie deficit. And in many cases, you continuing to restrict and over-exercise is creating more inflammation, not less. As described as feeling puffy, bloating that's been persistent for years, clothes that are fitting tight, especially in the midsection, even though, You don't even know if the scales really budge, but you just know that your clothes are fitting tighter. It might not necessarily be a fat loss issue. It may be an inflammation issue. Again, because of these adaptations that your body has shifted into. And so what does it actually look like in practice? How do we reverse all this? How do we fix all this? What did I give this woman as her solution? I want to walk you through 3 specific shifts that are going to help you start getting more results from the effort that you're putting in, that are going to help you implement the strategy that you need, not just guessing or trying all of these random things. Okay? Shift number 1, very simple. Shift from eating clean to actually tracking. That's one thing that this woman was missing. She was eating clean, eating 2 meals a day, knowing that they were small portions and probably not enough for her body, but we have no clue what the data actually is. You're reading labels, you're portioning things out, you're having a good sense of what you're eating, and I believe that you have a good idea of that. But until we actually track it, until we actually get the data, we are just guessing. And guessing is honestly what keeps us stuck. And so that is the first shift. Go from just eating clean to actually tracking your caloric intake. Start there. Don't even start with having calorie targets. Just start with awareness around what your current intake is. Are you eating enough protein, or is it not enough? Are you eating enough carbs, or is it not enough? Data helps you understand and make strategic shifts to your nutrition that actually get you the changes that you want. For some women, that does mean you need to do a reverse diet and start eating more to reset your metabolism that's adapted, down-regulated, just like we talked about. For other women, that looks like, oh, we've been under-eating, overeating, stuck in this yo-yo cycle, and we just need to get consistency before we can tackle a calorie deficit to see fat loss. Shift number 2 is to stop working out and start training with actual purpose. This woman who I was on a call with was training 5 to 6 days a week, lots of movement, and that's impressive, but it's workout classes. It's hard workout classes, but it's just workout classes, Legree, hot Pilates, going for runs. And this is not the same as following a structured progressive overload strength training program designed to build muscle and change your body composition. Again, Legree is amazing, Pilates is amazing. But if your primary goal is to look toned, lose body fat, preserve muscle tissue so you can look lean and toned, like you put effort into your physique, you need a stimulus that is progressively challenging your muscles over time to adapt, to grow. Your body adapts to what you give it. And so if that stimulus is not changing, then the body does not change. A body that's been doing classes consistently and had a skinny, fat look, as this woman described to me that she had, lean, but without the muscle definition, it's because the stimulus was not targeted to building muscle in a way that got her the physique that she wants. So stop just working out and taking random workout classes, followed a structured, resistance-based training program. That is what's going to change the way that you look. And also, bonus points, it's going to be the most beneficial way to exercise for your hormones and your metabolism so that you can stay healthy. And the last shift 3, probably one of the most important things that I will say on this entire episode. You cannot chase fat loss on a body that hasn't been set up for fat loss yet. Understand that healing has to come before fat loss, that the metabolism has to be in a place where it can actually respond, that the gut has to be in a place where you are absorbing your nutrients and detoxifying waste products. Inflammation has to be addressed. So this woman that I was talking to has had gut health issues for years. And the gut is connected to everything else, your metabolism, your hormones, your immune system, your ability to actually utilize the food that you're eating. And if those issues are unresolved, then the body does not have the internal environment to support the external changes that you're chasing. And so, number 1, we're starting her with a gut and hormone test. We have to get to the root cause. We need real answers. We're not just throwing random gut health hacks and tips and supplements onto her. No, we're going to get to the root cause, what's going on under the hood, so we can actually heal. and reset your metabolism in that process. This isn't a restrictive protocol. It's a strategic process of restoring your body's internal environment, which includes, supporting gut and hormones with targeted supplementation, eating more in a structured way, using a reverse diet, regulating your nervous system to manage your cortisol rhythm. Again, all so that your body actually responds to the effort in the way that it's supposed to. The effort has always been there. The foundation needs to be built underneath of it, and the strategy needs to be tailored to your specific body. And so those are the three things that are really going to make the biggest difference for you. And I know that these changes can come with a lot of hesitation because this woman had them. When I told her that the first step was likely going to involve a foundational phase of eating more, of resetting her metabolism, of fixing the internal stuff before we dove into fat loss, she had the concerns of, well, what if I gain weight? Like, logically, I know that I need to eat more, but if upping my calories really going to mean that I am going to gain weight in this process? And I said to her, like, very valid fear. If you're listening to this, it's likely that you've felt that before too, and you are not alone. I would say every woman who comes to me carries some type of fear like that. And so I will tell you what I told her. The only alternative here is to do what hasn't been working, to keep restricting on a body that's already adapted to restriction, which means the deficit that you think you're in isn't actually a deficit anymore. Your body has just learned to operate on less. So you're going to have to eat even less and work out even more if you want to see change. And that approach leads to more inflammation, more metabolic suppression, a worsened relationship with food, body, and exercise, and honestly just continuing to feel the exact same way that you are right now. And so yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you guys in today's episode. If you are someone who, like this woman, you want your confidence back, you want to fit into your clothes again, you want to feel happy in photos of yourself, you want the knowledge to actually execute, you want to be able to have one meal out and not feel like it derails your whole week, where you can eat healthy meals and feel good and be able to feel confident in your physique. That's what this is all about. It's not just about losing weight. It's not just about seeing the number on the scale, but it's about feeling in control of your body again. Feeling like you are the woman that you say that you are. Feeling like if you do X, you will get Y. Because that's what every high achiever wants. That's what every high achiever deserves when it comes to your health. You cannot punish a depleted body into healing. You have to understand what's going on inside of your body so that you can properly support it and rebuild the foundation. If this episode felt like I was talking to you directly, like, that's not a coincidence. Again, I talk to so many women just like this woman that I talked to today. The link to apply to jump on the phone with me or work with me one-on-one is going to be down in the show notes below. I would love to chit chat with you and help you get out of this cycle of trial and error, out of the cycle of constantly guessing what is and isn't working for you, and actually get real answers with a real strategy so that your effort can finally start creating the results that you want.